stretcher. There it is. I don't know who's going to handle the stretcher when it's over. I hope it's not me and Jim Lund. Rick Hazard is on his way out, evidently to be the referee, as we await on the arrival of Gary Hart and Abdullah the Butcher. This bout is a little scary when you think about it, because what are you going to have to do to somebody to put them in a state which requires them to be carried out on a stretcher? So, like I say, if we have to go to black all of a sudden, that's because it gets out of hand. We'll hope that that doesn't happen. Now the million-dollar question is, where is Gary Hart? Here he comes up the aisle with Abdullah the Butcher following, and I'm very concerned, genuinely and deeply concerned, about Gary Hart talking about this dreaded sleeper. I've been prohibited from talking about the consequences of this sleeper for some time now, under the assumption that Gary would never be allowed to use it. I hope someone can put their foot down before this gets worse. Doyle King is very wisely standing outside the ring for this introduction. Let's join him.
This event brought on by last week's bloody battle between the combatants that are in the ring and or entering at this time. This event is a stretcher match. There are no rules in this event. There is no time limit. Pinfalls do not count. Anything goes. The only way to win this match is to beat your opponent to the point of having him being carried out of the arena on a stretcher. First, on my right, in the white corner, manager Gary Hart presents from the Republic of Sudan, weighing 481 pounds, Abdullah the Butcher. And in the center of the ring, weighing in at 300 pounds from the Zulu nation in Africa, the mighty Zulu. Rick Hazard is your referee.
All right, there's Gary Hart with Abdullah. And this bout is ready to get started. The stretcher's been placed over here under the rope in front of Doyle and Joe and myself. Gary Hart holding that hood over the face of Abdullah. Let's go, and here we go. I'm going to move this stretcher out of the way just a little so that doesn't interfere in the bout. But like Doyle said, there are no rules, so we're not going to worry about a DQ. This match goes on until one man has to be carried out. Zulu, who came to Texas with but one thing on his mind, to get at Abdullah the Butcher for an evidently debilitating injury to his younger brother some time ago. A big headbutt by Zulu ends in those jabs to the throat by Abdullah the Butcher. Zulu is thrown to the floor, and we all go scampering. I hope the Butcher stays in the ring. Here's Abdullah. And Zulu is brought back in. Anything goes in this bout. Gary Hart is managers at ringside as Abdullah now chokes Zulu with a foot in the throat. He's standing on Zulu now. All of that weight. And Gary Hart says anything goes, and for once he's right. Gary Hart is the greatest manipulator I have ever seen. Zulu rakes the eyes. Chop to the back. Drive to the midsection. Zulu giving the Butcher his money's worth. The Butcher about to fall out of the ring. Zulu about to knock the Butcher out of the ring, and he does. Zulu knocks Abdullah the Butcher out onto the apron, and this crowd loves it. A big one in Fort Worth tonight. Look out. Head on to the, well, not quite on the table. Abdullah stopped himself. They've got the mic. And it goes over the head. Abdullah now begins to bleed a little bit. You can hear that mic popping as Zulu pounds Abdullah the Butcher with a house mark over the head, into the throat, into the belly. Oh, he's just murdering him with that house mark. The fans here. He has torn the house mic in two. There goes a piece of the mic. Grab that, Doyle, and show it on the camera if you can. They have ripped the wires out of the house mic. Look at what is left of it as Zulu grabs a chair and pounds Abdullah the Butcher with a steel chair. The chair falls to the floor. House mic ripped in two. Zulu trying to rip Abdullah in two. Abdullah is bleeding as Zulu crawls back into the ring, and the Butcher's just in a daze and falls out on the floor. Zulu back out with him. Wires hung all over the place. Chairs overturned. Zulu can't do much with the Butcher out on the floor other than just maintain the momentum that he already had. Butcher in bad shape. We've never seen him in this bad of shape in any bout. David Manning's out to help with the stretcher for whoever goes out on that. It's the Zulu who's winning this war for the time being. Look at the thousands of fans who are standing in Will Rogers Coliseum to see this. Abdullah the Butcher in trouble with the Zulu. Stomping the big man. We are without a house mic. It's been ruined. That baby will never be used again. Zulu with a headbutt onto that bludgeoned head of Abdullah the Butcher. Gary Hart watching very concernedly from ringside as Abdullah falls on his back again. And Zulu says, bring in the stretcher. I don't know if we've quite gone that far yet. I don't like the looks of this bout. Like I said, if it gets too bad, we'll just have to go to a commercial. Zulu coming from the ropes down onto the Abdullah with the splash. Here he comes again. Another big splash. We've never seen Abdullah the Butcher in this condition. Here comes the stretcher. The Zulu has got Abdullah the Butcher laying flat out in the ring. Fans are excited. And the Zulu just continues. Now, how are they ever going to get this guy on the stretcher? David Manning in the ring with the stretcher. They're going to try to get Abdullah onto it. Zulu is making things worse by continuing his pulverization of the big man. This is the opportunity that Zulu has been waiting for. Now David Manning asks Rick Hazard how they're going to get him out. Abdullah now rolls off the stretcher. Look at the crowd in here. These people are standing, thrilled with this bout. Uh-oh, here goes the Butcher. While David Manning and Rick Hazard are over dealing with a stretcher, the Butcher has pulled out a long white object similar to that thing that they took away from him at the Sportatorium the other night when Rick Hazard searched him. Now, Abdullah has hidden the object away again. He pulled it out of his boot to begin with. I don't know where it is now. Abdullah the Butcher now, with the aid of the object, has the Zulu back out on the floor. Gary Hart coaching him on. Keep your eye on Abdullah. Here he comes. Hope he doesn't take an interest in me. And he jabs that into the throat. He screams out the referee. Notice how he keeps Hazard behind him. I think now he had the object in his mouth. Now he's got my chair. Abdullah throws the chair onto the Zulu. Fans angry at Gary Hart now. There's a falling elbow onto the concrete, which doesn't give even a fraction of an inch. The Zulu's in serious trouble now out on the cement as Abdullah's dropped the elbow in. He's already used the object. He's now using those big boots at the bottom of that 400-pound body. Bronco Lubitsch and Ralph Foley are out there bringing the stretcher around now for the Zulu, who's in a heap on the camera cable. Fans booing now. They don't want to see this bout end this way. Zulu is trying to get up. He doesn't want to get on any stretcher. He's grabbing the stretcher away. He throws the stretcher down and spits on it. The Zulu is not through yet. This bout may go on all night. Jim, if we need to go to an extra commercial break, let me know. Abdullah and the Zulu are at it, coming back into the ring. I'm with you. Jim Lund in contact with me as we will bring you all of this that we possibly can. We've got one more commercial break to go to before midnight. If we do have to do that, you won't miss a thing. We'll just stop tape and pick up immediately and insert the commercial in the studio. You won't miss a thing. Abdullah from the corner with the elbow. All right, we're going to stop tape. You won't miss a thing. We'll be right back. We're back. Abdullah comes in with an elbow. You didn't miss a thing. We just inserted the commercial in the middle of the tape. Abdullah the Butcher on the Zulu here in this bout that may go on all night because it continues until one man is carried out of the ring on a stretcher. From the way it looks, Abdullah must have something underneath that neck because his hands are not connected together. He must have something under the neck. Nice camera work by our crew. Here's Gary Hart climbing up. What's he doing? Gary coaching him on. I wonder if this is that hole that Gary was talking about. I don't see anything under there. Great tight shot from Bonnie, our floor camera girl. I didn't see anything under that chin. This must be the sleeper hole that Gary's been talking about. David Manning and Gary Hart into it now. Many of the fans still standing here at Will Rogers Coliseum. Fans booing Abdullah the Butcher as he continues on the Zulu. Rick Hazard trying to count Abdullah off. Here comes Gary Hart again. David's got the stretcher now. Gary's in the ring here in the middle of a bout. Rick Hazard said ring the bell. Evidently Zulu's out. Gary into some wild hypnotic communication. Zulu evidently is out cold, and this is obviously that sleeper move that Gary Hart told us about. I hope the Zulu is still with us. David Manning checking the standard submission method by raising the hand. And it now looks like the Zulu is going to be the one carried out as Gary Hart pulls the rabbit out of the hat with this new sleeper hold on Zulu in this special stretchered stipulation bout. Look at Abdullah back there, a madman. He can keep running. He can run out of the corner at any moment and make this worse. Gary trying to hold him back. We're running out of time as they put the Zulu on the stretcher. Fans in person will see the sixth man. That's why you need to be here each and every week to see it all. Get your Cotton Bowl tickets early as we see Zulu stretched out onto the stretcher.